Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to Monster Tamer News, the segment on this channel where we go over the past week's developments in the monster taming genre, this time for September 9th, 2023. Now, like I stated in last week's news segment, because of the Monster Taming Direct that took place this week, there's no way in hell I'll be able to cover all of the news developments because we've had 34 brand new trailers, showcases, devlogs, etc. from the various developers that participated. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, if you want to stay 100% up to date on the news, you gotta check out the Monster Taming Direct. Things have been pretty crazy on that front. Other than that, I will be covering some of the news announcements that took place during the Direct, which includes a new kinfolk for Kindred Fates, the release date for Anode Heart, we got a sequel game in the works. Also outside of the Direct, we have some new information regarding Temtem and the Mythical update. Apparently Neopets is back, some more information about Dragon Quest Monsters 3 and its combat system, and more. So as per the usual, sit back, relax, and let's dive in. Okay, so just because of the context of this week being absolutely crazy, this edition of Monster Tamer News is going to be formatted a little bit differently. We're going to be focusing on major news updates with a lot of the usual rapid fire stuff like simple monster reveals and concepts and stuff like that being allocated for next week. We have a lot to get through and I don't want this video to go on forever or drag out, so yeah. First of all, let's quickly talk about the Monster Taming Direct. The Direct was a massive success, showcasing 34 brand new pieces of monster taming content. We had a maximum of almost 1,400 people watching concurrently with an average of about 1,150. This translated into the Direct managing to accumulate over 30,000 views in less than 48 hours, which, without humble bragging too much, was a massive feat for a genre-centric event like this. And in 2 days, we were able to match my buddy Clemmy's indie showcase, which has 30,000 views after 2 months, which is still very impressive, by the way, and you should definitely check him out. But I gotta flex a little bit on this because we really did absolutely crush it. And this isn't just a feat from me, this is a feat from the entire community. I think that the massive success of the event is a testament to the genre itself, and I look forward to seeing how far this thing goes and what the next Direct will look like. Once again, thank you guys for everything, and of course, the Direct brought with it some spicy news information. So not to get too heavily into it, but we did get some announcements, including the release date of Anode Heart, with a new trailer as well, which is a Digimon world-inspired game that boasts some nice pixel art, a futuristic sort of robotic theme, and more. The game will be releasing on November 17th of this year, which is a lot sooner than a lot of us were expecting, and I'm looking forward to diving into this game. It's coming out 2 weeks before Dragon Quest Monsters, so that should give us a lot of time to mess around with it and for me to make content on it, especially if I'm able to secure one of those review copies. We also had an announcement regarding Evomon and the fact that it's not only getting a major update, but it's also getting a sequel in the form of Evomon II, which is currently in the works. This is a monster raising title that honestly we need to do a showcase video for sooner rather than later because it looks pretty good. Familiars I.O., a game that you might remember as that MMO game that was kind of viral on Twitter as the developer managed to actually encode the entire game into a tweet, had a recent update as well, which at the time increased rare spawn rates and added some portals to the game, which can allow for more challenges and the ability to test your monster's bravery. Abomination revealed the console release date for Xbox and Switch, which will be the 28th of this month, and pre-orders are already available now for Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Nintendo Switch, with the PlayStation version coming in the future. We also got a trailer for a game that I honestly had never heard of until they submitted for the Direct, called Photogeist Albums, which announced a demo that's coming later this year in the winter. And this game seems to be like an N64 or PS1 inspired low poly game where there's these, I guess, ghost things that you can take pictures of and then battle with them, and it just looks cool, okay? And of course, we got a new kinfolk for Kindred Fates, which is this little tadpole guy, and he had a pretty epic trailer, Super Smash Bros. Style, to go alongside with him. And within the trailer, it showcased its various abilities and obviously the fact that it's a water type. I'm actually really curious to see whether or not it's related to the Shovelet line, because I can definitely see some similarities in body type, and I think it'd be pretty cool if the two had like a common pre-evolution or something to that extent. Outside of the Direct, we recently received new information regarding the new Temtem update dubbed 1.5, which has been touted by the community especially to be the big PvE update for the game, and so far by the looks of it, it'll include the final Temtem, aka a new Mythical, a new route where you can find said Temtem, a casual mode for dojo rematches, which will net smaller rewards but be easier, changes to free Tem, which will make specific Temtem the goal rather than releasing any Temtem, the ability to trade during layers and only revive once, and the randomizer mode, which works as it sounds. Now, personally, I was hoping for a little bit more content for the post-game itself. I guess you could say the randomizer mode is cool, but when playing an MMO, I feel like the biggest thing is that sort of long-term accumulation of progress, like how in RuneScape you can grind up your levels and your weapons and stuff like that, whereas a randomizer or a Nuzlocke would be something that you would do on a new game and not your primary one. And as for the Mythical, that's definitely nice to see. However, this new route is just going to contain Temtem we already have seen and already have. So as much as exploring a new route is cool, if there's no new Temtem to go alongside it, it does fall a little bit, at least for me. The Palworld developers have been putting out PAL decks, but this week we actually also got a Q&A that answered a few interesting questions. I do also have a video recorded sort of reacting to and discussing the Q&A itself. However, some of the content that they discussed is with regards to the different types of servers that will be present in terms of like PvP versus PvE, whether or not it's more beneficial to be evil or good towards your pals, the plans beyond early access, and more. So you could definitely check out the Q&A if you're interested. I will have a video out probably tomorrow though discussing it, so definitely stay tuned. And in case you missed yesterday's video, we got a lot of information regarding Dragon Quest monsters, the Dark Prince, and how the game's combat system will work. I'm not going to dive too deep into it here since the video literally just came out yesterday and you can check it out, but basically it does seem that there is going to be a lot of similarities in the combat system between this game and the original Dragon Quest monsters with some added flair. Fusion's also back, of course, as if that was a question, and we also got some monster reveals too, all of which were courtesy of the article published by Square Enix. Once again, definitely check out that video if you haven't already, it'll be linked below, and all I can say is I'm really excited for this game. Okay, so this is kind of random and one of you guys brought this to my attention, which I completely missed about a month ago, but apparently Neopets is back under new ownership, which from what I can tell means they're no longer trying to dabble in this NFT Web 3.0 crap. From the video, which will be linked below, it does seem that the developers are trying to fix up the website, make it more mobile friendly, and bring back a lot of the old games that have been removed over the years, and essentially take Neopets back to its quote golden age, which I played Neopets as a kid, and I'm not sure if they're referring to like bringing it back to when it was back then, because I remember Neopets being pretty dope. And despite the fact that so much time has passed and I was tiny, I still remember like some of the mini games. There was this one like ice cream mini game where you played as like a chick thing. I remember I had like a yellow griffin Neopet or something like that. I don't know, this could be their redemption arc, but we'll see. But yeah guys, pretty chunky news update today. I did condense this down as much as I could, but like I said, if you haven't watched the Monster Taming Direct, go watch it. You'll be missing out if you don't. And other than that, things will be back to business as usual next week, at which point Monster Tamer News will be finding a new home either on Fridays or Saturdays, just depending on my work schedule since it's changed. If you are someone that likes monster taming games and wants to stay up to date on the latest information, definitely subscribe to the channel because I put out new videos every single day. Definitely consider checking out my Patreon as well if you want to go that extra mile to support the channel. And I want to say special thanks to my patrons, especially Jim Hamilton, Dro Ghost, Dark Persona Exodus, and Candy Morency, and I'll see you next time. Peace.